A3 in from Route 390, 21 in from Wolf. Outbound, there's a crash at Independence Boulevard that was reported. It's not there. 18 to Wolf, 30 out to Route 390. Stevenson inbound, 29 in for 355. Dan Ryan, 16 in from 95th. That's traffic. I'm Jeremy Scott on AM 560, The Answer.
And Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our AM 560 Weather Center. Our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Mostly sunny, nice day today. The high at 82. It'll be clear tonight, though, 63. For tomorrow and Friday, mostly sunny and warm. The high tomorrow, 86. Friday's high, 88. A thunderstorm Saturday, the high, 89. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
62 officially at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
I would say she's anti-Semitic. Linda Sarsour. Such a hate monger as Linda Sarsour that she was ousted as one of the organizers of the now defunct P-Hat marches. Linda Sarsour remotely saying this.
The Democratic Party is not perfect, but it is absolutely our party in this moment.
Yeah, it absolutely is her party in this moment. She feels comfortable there. Linda Sarsour is, among other things, the person who said that Israel is built on the idea that Jews are supreme to everyone else. So when National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien said that the only people upset with the accord struck between Israel and the United Arab Emirates would be the Ayatollah in Iran and perhaps Ben Rhodes, he may want to throw Linda Sarsour in there too. I'm sure she's not too happy. Again, Prime Minister Netanyahu over the weekend discussing the accord that was struck.
Thanks to President Trump and the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed, I think we're making history, and we're changing history. Peace is a good thing, and this peace unites two of the most advanced economies in the world, Israel and the United Arab Emirates, and two of the most moderate. We're fighting Iran and the radicals who are trying to overthrow the entire order in the Middle East, subjugate peoples, propagate terrorism. So this is good for peace, good for security, good for prosperity. I think it's good for the United States and good for Israel.
For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Aviv Ezra, the Israeli Consul General to the Midwest. Aviv, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Shalom, good morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Good morning. Let's build on what you heard Bibi say about this. Good for peace, good for Israel, good for UAE, good for peace again in general, and where this could lead from here as Israel normalizes relations with United Arab Emirates, and as Netanyahu also said in that interview, it's not the only Arab state in the region I've been talking to in this vein.
100%. This is a historic moment in Israel's history and the Middle East altogether. For many years, obviously you're familiar with the fact that Israel has two peace accords with two of our neighbors, with Egypt in 1979 and Jordan in 1994. But since then, 26 years, we've been told that nothing will move forward before the Palestinians will decide that they are willing to sign a peace agreement with Israel. And the narrative was, if you don't do that, you're never going to get the Arab world. Well, yesterday or a couple of days ago, this history actually changed. The first time the Arab countries are telling the Palestinians, we're not willing to be held hostage anymore. We are moving forward with progress, with future, and we highly recommend you to join in.
And so do you think ultimately, this is down the road, and again, Netanyahu spoke to this, but ultimately that puts pressure on the Palestinians to be more rational in trying to forge a two-state solution?
100%. What it means is, the way I see it, is three significant layers. First of all, the bilateral relationship between UAE and Israel, which is going to be crucial. They want to work on innovation, entrepreneurship, economy, high-tech, etc. The second is, as you said, the regional. because we believe and we know that following UAE, there are other Arab countries that say to the Palestinians, enough is enough. We want to move forward. So we know for a fact, and I can tell you and your listeners, that there is at least one more country and maybe additional in the pipeline that hopefully will come up with some good news in the coming few weeks or months. And thirdly is what you said. It's a message, a strong message to the Palestinians. Move forward and come to the negotiation table. It's not going to be perfect for you. It's not going to be perfect for the Israelis, but you cannot hold the entire Middle East and actually, as you said, some ramifications here in America and in Europe. You cannot hold everybody hostage because of your refusal to negotiate.
And why do you think this is happening now?
Because I think 26 years, more than a quarter of a century has passed, and the Arab countries are looking at Israel. They're looking at the future, looking at the economy, looking at innovation, looking at technology, want to be part of it, want to have their investments in the right places, want to have Israeli tourism come over. They've seen the things that we have done together with Egypt and with Jordan, with the prosperity that is moving forward, and they're now willing to be held hostage again. As I said, they want to move forward.
Is it also a desire to prevent Iranian hegemony in the region? That's something that the moderate Arab states and Israel have in common.
100%. In our neck of the woods, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. And you mentioned correctly, it's not just UAE. There are dramatic changes in our region, and we have Iran as a proliferator of terrorism, proliferator of arms, proliferator of nuclear capabilities. Many countries around the Middle East, including Saudi Arabia and the GCC countries, including Bahrain, UAE, and many more, are very concerned on that hegemony and that imperialistic moves by Iran. And they know that today the division is not between Israel and the Arab world, but rather between moderates and radicals. So if you look at the announcement that happened vis-a-vis the agreement with UAE, you look at those who have responded negatively and pushed back and said that this is unacceptable, and you understand that these are the axes of evil, what was called in the past. That's Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, all the radical forces that are pushing against any move of peace in the Middle East.
Do you think this would have gotten done if President Trump would have stuck to the Iranian nuclear deal that was negotiated by the previous administration? Or was it critical to send a message to moderate Arab states like UAE that you have a president of the United States that is going to back the play for peace in the region and take a hard line on Iran?
Well, first of all, we're very thankful to this administration, to President Trump and the entire team over there, including Jared Kushner and many more, for their assistance brokering this historic accord. This historic accord. This is something that could not be taken for granted. We want to say that his peace plan served as a basis for today's historic peace announcement. So many were saying, hey, what's with the peace plan? How is it going to ignite some kind of a movement? And look, it did. It did ignite because the UAE pushed back against a certain element, and in return, was the annexation process of Judea and Samaria, and in return, what they said, they are willing to come to normalization with Israel. So in a sense, the peace plan has definitely pushed it forward, and the peace plan answered two most important aspects for us, the security and our national interest. And I think it was superb. And in regards to the JCPOA, the Iranian deal, look, we were pretty clear during the previous administration that we think that this deal would not prevent them in the long run, which is not too long of a run, about 10 years of a sunset clause. It would not allow us to prevent Iran from going nuclear. I don't think that the previous administration wanted them to go nuclear. They were against it, but I think their tactics, and we think their tactics were wrong, and we pushed against it. We were not shy about it. Prime Minister spoke about it on the Hill, as you know. And I think the fact that President Trump has extracted the United States out of the deal was something that we were we think it's very, very important. Altogether, the deal, one last word about the UAE deal, is that candidate Joe Biden has said just recently that they will build upon it, which means that they believe that this is also the right thing to go. Peace is obviously a bipartisan issue, and I think the president and the administration deserve the credit here.
That may be what Joe Biden said, but are there concerns that within the party? I mean, Andrew Cuomo the other night was talking about the rise of anti-Semitism, but he didn't mention names. I'll mention some names. Linda Sarsour, who was just at the DNC, as I played a clip from her appearance, as well as members of Congress like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, and I don't think they're arguable, the anti-Semitic things that they've said. Is there concern that Joe Biden, if he were to become president of the United States, would be beholden to some of the harder left elements within his own party that have expressed anti-Semitism in previous comments?
Look, on the one hand, we're monitoring very closely the rise of anti-Semitism and certain statements by certain even elected officials that talk about the Benjamins and talk about dual loyalty. These are things that are unacceptable, and obviously you can have disagreements on many issues, but anti-Semitism is not acceptable. On the other hand, Canada, Joe Biden, we know him for 4 decades. I worked as Israel's liaison to the U.S. Congress. I think that he will push back against these kind of voices, and I think it's not acceptable. You're 100% right.
He is Aviv Ezra. He's Israel's Consul General to the Midwest. Consul General Ezra, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us, and know that we have a nonstop flight coming from Chicago to Israel in about a month for the first time in 20 years, like the peace accord. So some good news coming from O'Hare to the Midwest.
Very good. I got to get Dennis Prager to clear his schedule so he can squire me around Israel. That's the only thing I got to work on.
You had me at Shalom.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Aviv. Appreciate it.
I would love to do
Thank
that.
you. Take care.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
We're all aware of national dealers that sell gold and silver. But national dealers? It sounds so impersonal and far away. Guess what? Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is a national dealer, and they're right here in our backyard. With Fox Valley Coins close by, you won't have to relinquish your personal information and money through the mail and hope that you receive what you ordered in the next days, weeks, or months. Most of the time at Fox Valley Coins, you just walk in the store, pick out what you want, pay for it, and walk out the door. It can be that easy. And if you're interested in selling your rare collector coins or currency, Fox Valley Coins specialize in the rare ones. Buying and selling individual coins and currency, as well as all gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and rhodium in coin, bar, and scrap form. They'll even make house calls when appropriate. Fox Valley Coins is 1 light north of I-88 on Route 59 in Naperville. They're closed on Sundays and have been dealing with integrity since 1981. Check out foxvalleycoins.com. That's foxvalleycoins.com.
Are you still carrying around the extra weight you gained while stuck at home? You can look better in that bathing suit with help from NJ Diet. You can still lose that fat this summer since it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds. NJ Diet's program starts with bioenergetically personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to create your ideal diet plan and workout regimen. You're fully monitored by their certified staff to make sure you're burning fat, not just losing water. You'll also get the doctor's personal email and phone number for questions. NJ Diet is all natural, no shots, no hormones, and no surgery. Locations throughout the Chicagoland, throughout the tri-state, as well as live online video consultations. Don't delay by losing weight and getting back into shape for the summer. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Is it really a good idea to have the same senator for 3 generations? I support term limit for all elected officials. Our senators need to bring home growth for our business community, jobs, housing, service for our senior citizens, and health care. We need new ideas and new approach to